Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maida, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a wooden door hanger sign. This is a perfect project if you have a diode laser or a CO2 laser, so you won't necessarily need a CO2 laser to create this type of door hanger sign. So I love making these. I'm going to show you where I get my supplies, and if you don't have a big enough a machine to cut an 18-inch round, which is what I use in this video, where you can source those locally to help you create these beautiful door hanger signs. So I hope you enjoy this video, and as always, please let me know what you think in the comments and if you have any questions, and let's get right into it. So when you download the file, if you buy your file from me, this is what it's going to look like. I created this file myself here in Silhouette Studio, and as you can see, the version on the left is an example I always give myself, so I have a visual example of what my colors are going to look like. The version on the right is the actual SVG that's going to come when you download, and you'll be able to separate pieces as you want. This is my light burn software, and then I use my Thunder laser to cut my wooden pieces. My Thunder laser is a CO2 laser, so it cuts everything fairly quickly. And this is kind of how I line everything up, because my machine cannot cut an 18-inch round. So that 18-inch round is from Home Depot. They have a section in the back where the wood is, where they have like almost little shelves, like where you can get MDF, wooden rounds that are like 12-inch, and then the 18-inch. I don't think they have a lot of in-between sizes, but you can also find like even smaller in-between sizes at Michael's as well. You can find even thicker 18-inch rounds at Michael's as well, and they all run around the same price. So this one specifically was $10. And here what I'm doing is I'm beginning to color my wood. So you are more than welcome to use spray paint. That would be like the fastest route, but it was cold outside. This was like around the time that we were getting cold weather here in Texas. So what you see me using is a makeup sponge. You can buy these at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and I like using makeup sponges because they do not absorb the paint. The paint actually gets transferred onto whatever canvas you're painting, and it has an easy grip. I would just say that when you pick up paint, kind of tap it to the side so you remove a bunch of the excess off of it, but it does a really good job when it comes to coverage, especially with wood. Now, if your wood is coming out charred, which means it looks burnt, you might want to sand it off a little bit with a piece of sanding paper, or if you have a sanding block. You really won't need a lot of pressure when sanding your wood, but it is important, especially if you're going to be coloring like colors like white or yellow or pink, because they are a little transparent and you will be able to see that burning look of wood, which is a charring when you cut with, especially with a diode laser. Not all diode lasers will do that, but this is my preferred method of painting these. Now, sometimes if I have bigger wooden pieces, I will bring out the little roller. It's like a 4-inch roller. That is also like one of my favorite methods. And then spray painting is like my third method if I really need to go outside, but I prefer not to. This is the same step that I'll do with each one of the colors. Right here I'm doing the red, and once you let all of your paint dry, it's honestly not going to take very long because it is wood. Add as many colors or layers as you need. I take Mod Podge. I have a little mixture of Mod Podge in that bottle, and I'm going to take the sponge in the same way that I applied my paint. I'm applying my Mod Podge. Now, why am I not using a brush? Because sometimes I get Mod Podge or paint on the sides of the letter, and it just gets a little more tedious to clean up. Using the makeup sponge will just keep the Mod Podge at the top of the letter, or at the top of whatever surface it is that you're doing, and then I just start applying my glitter. The black is kind of like a mixture of a couple of black / silver glitters I had. I didn't have like the sparkly, but I don't have a sparkly black glitter on hand, so I kind of just made my own. And as you can see, I just start adding my glitter of choice and then let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll pick up the letter, tap off the excess glitter, and then move it to the side, let it dry, and I'll continue glittering each and every piece that I want glittered on this sign. You don't have to do them exactly like I did them, especially if you are choosing to use and purchase my file. This is just my preferred method of kind of making these. This is my 18-inch wooden round. As you can see, I've only painted it on the side that I'm going to be adding glitter on. I did use spray paint for this. I just used, I think, matte white Rust-Oleum 2x spray paint. It's my preferred spray paint brand to use. The reason I did not paint this with a sponge is because, girl, ain't nobody got time for that. So I just painted it, spray painted it, brought it back in, added and brushed my Mod Podge on there, and then took my choice of white glitter and added the white glitter to it, tapped off the excess. This is a big surface, so it was a little hard for my tiny hands to kind of maneuver, but you'll figure it out. Tap off the excess, save all that glitter, put it back into your container, and then I just allowed this piece to dry. I do end up sealing everything with Rust-Oleum's 2x clear gloss spray, so I just allowed this to dry along with the other pieces and then sealed them and sprayed them down, and here I am showing you like no glitter should be coming off of it after they've been sealed. Once everything is dry, I kind of took my bow. If you guys are interested in a separate tutorial on how I made my bow, please let me know. I did use 3 different ribbons to create that bow, but I did not include I didn't include clips of how I made that ribbon in this tutorial. So if you would like to see how I did that, please let me know in the comments, and I will gladly make a separate tutorial, a quick, like less than 5-minute tutorial on how I make my bows. But basically I just started to kind of line everything up, because remember, this is too big of a round, so I did not score these 18-inch round, and I probably could have, because my machine does have the pass-through option, but I didn't want to have to do all of that. So once I have everything lined up, I just start gluing. I do use Gorilla's wood glue. It's my preferred glue. Honestly, I love it. It is perfect for wood. Stuff is not going to move if you use this glue. I've been using it since I got my first diode laser last year. More than a year ago already. We're going on like a year and a half since I got my first diode laser. I end up kind of just adding a little bit and then almost like spreading it out, kind of like you would peanut butter jelly on a sandwich. Like, you spread it out, you don't just leave it in one area. And the reason I do that is because when you press this down to adhere onto the 18-inch round, if you have way too much of a blob of glue, it's going to spread out and it's going to spill outside, and you don't want that, because Gorilla Glue is like a creamy yellow color and my wooden sign is white. That stuff is not, the Gorilla Glue is not going to dry white or clear. It is going to dry that same color that it is. So we don't want that. So I would just make sure you're careful about that. To attach my bow and the string that I'm going to use to hang it, I use this stapler gun. You can glue, but what I have experienced is if you use hot glue and you hang this outside and you live somewhere like Texas, that glue is going to melt off. Ask me how I know. So my preferred method of attaching things like this onto my door hanger signs is to use a stapler gun. I tried adding these Dollar Tree like little hearts, but girl, it just was not working out. I ended up not adding these, so we moved on from these very quickly. This is kind of what I use as like the hanging portion for the sign, but you're more than welcome to use something that's thicker. I don't like to use something that's thicker unless it's going outside. So if my customer specifies that this is going to be hung outside, then I might add something a little thicker. But if they're not slamming the doors, if they're not, throwing this around, it should be fine. It has a strong hold. I've used this to even like hold paper projects, like banners that I've made myself. So you'll be fine with something just like this. Just like that, you have the cutest door hanger sign for Valentine's Day. I hope you liked this video. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to see more videos coming soon.